Good morning. Welcome to Eyewitness News Daybreak. I'm Jake Boswell. Thank you so much for starting off your Friday here with us. It's April 12th. It's been a very rainy morning, and we have a lot of news to get to. So let's go ahead and get started. Authorities continuing to search for an escaped inmate in Muhlenberg County that was able to get out of a state prison facility, Green River Correction Complex specifically, late Wednesday night. Still on the run this morning, Charles Pettigo was initially in custody on charges of assault and drug-related offenses. He has been serving a 29-year sentence. Now, police say he has a tattoo of the Grim Reaper on his left arm and a tattoo of a dream catcher with an eagle on his upper right arm. You can see that photo we're showing you this morning. If you see Pettigo, police are asking you to give them a call. We're hearing this morning from the taxi cab service, which picked up an alleged bank robber in Evansville this week. 23-year-old Philip Velasquez is accused of attempted robbery at an Old National Bank location on Burkhart Road. Police say he used UCabbie as a getaway vehicle. UCabbie administrators say incidents like this happen often, but they say anyone thinking of committing a crime should reconsider their escape options.
For anybody that might think that calling a cab to assist them in the commission of a felony, it's not the brightest idea. Obviously, technology is ever changing. We would advise you, if you're going to, commit felonies, do those in your own vehicle. Don't call the cab.
Velasquez was in court on Thursday, a judge setting his bond at $30,000. He'll be back in court again next week. Former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says that WikiLeaks leader Julian Assange has to answer for what he's done, responding to his arrest at an event in New York late last night.
I'll wait and see what happens with the charges and how it proceeds. But, he skipped bail in the UK. Sweden had those charges, which have been dropped in the last several years. But the bottom line is he has to answer for what he has done, at least as it's been charged. I do think it's a little ironic that he may be the only foreigner that this administration would welcome to the United States.
WikiLeaks released stolen internal communications from Clinton's campaign and the Democratic National Committee in the heat of the 2016 presidential race. Assange was arrested in London yesterday after hiding there for 7 years at Ecuador's embassy. He's facing charges of skipping bail in Britain, but the U.S. is also requesting his extradition for reportedly conspiring to steal military secrets with former Army analyst Chelsea Manning. And the U.S. military is entering a new era. President Trump's transgender military ban is now in effect. John Lawrence gets us up to date on what this means.
The Pentagon has a new policy for those who want to serve in the U.S. military. Those who join must adhere to their birth sex.
Anyone who is willing to step up and serve our country should be welcome.
This change comes nearly 2 years after President Trump tweeted that he wanted a transgender ban, saying in part, "Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail."
Struggle is not over when transgender troops, ready to put their lives on the line for this country, have their careers threatened with ruin one tweet at a time.
Some say the ban will force transgender people to lie about their true selves.
When you can't live in your affirmed gender, who you are deep inside your soul, it affects your ability to do the work in a very good capacity.
There are some exceptions to the rule that blocks transgender individuals from serving. According to the Department of Defense, men and women can serve in their assigned birth sex or if they don't require a change of gender.
Implementing a ban again will not stop Americans from wanting to serve their country, and some of those Americans happen to be transgender.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The National Center for Transgender Equality says roughly 15,000 transgender individuals are in the military, although they say some are not open about it. Well, Ron is in this Friday morning tracking rain, as he's really been doing for the last few hours or so. Ron, the severe capability of these storms is something that didn't quite play out here in the tri-state, but just east of us, there were at least a few severe thunderstorm warnings over the last couple hours.
Right, even a tornado warning in northern Kentucky, just outside of Florence, is where that storm was. And It's moving into the Cincinnati metro. So yeah, the storm's really flared up. Even in Louisville, they had some severe thunderstorm warnings earlier, about an hour ago. So as this system moved to the east, it was much more impressive. For us, it was a pretty good rainmaker, though. We had 1 to 2 inches in a lot of places. As you know, we got that good dousing. Really didn't see any lightning all morning long, too. So we've been here all morning, too, just kind of checking things out. And yeah, we were lucky. We've got a chance, though, over the weekend, though, for some severe weather. Sunday morning, we've got the possibility with some thunderstorms that'll be moving through middle of the weekend. As an American RV camera, you can see the darker clouds off to the east, and that's where the storms are. And, of course, starting to see a few breaks out there in Owensboro. Nice to see that. We are going to see some sunshine in southern Illinois soon enough. Temperature's a little cooler there in the upper 40s. Right now, most of us in the mid-50s. It's 54 here in town, 54 Owensboro and Henderson. You can see where the heavier rain now shifted toward Louisville. And, of course, even farther to the east is where we have that severe threat. And you can see for us, though, just a little bit of light rain basically between Tell City and Greenville, and that'll be out of the picture pretty soon. High today is going to be right around 70 degrees, so it is going to be not too bad for the rest of the day once we start to see the clouds breaking up just a little bit. Well, Joe Bird's out on the roads, of course, Riverside Drive, where it looks like they're opening up part of that road again. Good to see that. Good morning, Joe.
Well, here's something I haven't seen in quite a while behind me this morning on Riverside Drive. Traffic. Not that we have much traffic in Evansville anyway, but we have cars traveling down Riverside Drive this morning in downtown Evansville, as crews said they're going to have it open by 7 o'clock, and here we are at 7:07, and we do have some traffic on Riverside Drive. And I'll tell you more about that here in just a second, but I want to talk about another road closure happening today in Evansville. Vectren will be closing the section of Adams Avenue between Highway 41 and Lodge, just right there beside Highway 41. And now, if you live in this area, be prepared for this to last a while. You might even do a little bit of detouring through here, as this closure is expected to last until April the 22nd. And as you just saw behind me, the good news for those traveling through downtown Evansville, Riverside Drive is scheduled to be back open this morning at 7. And as I mentioned, Biden, they did do that. However, the rain I thought might cause a little bit of a delay. It did not cause a delay. Everything is just fine. You may recall this area closed a little over a week ago for the Evansville Water and Sewer Utility to do some work there right at Shawnee and Riverside Drive on a water transmission line. But again, Riverside Drive back open this morning, at least here in the immediate downtown area. There were barricades up behind me earlier. Not anymore. Now, I can't speak for I-69 just yet. You got to remember there were some barricades down there as well, right there at the Highway 41 and 69 interchange. But nonetheless, Riverside Drive, all open this morning, Jake.
That's great to see, Joe. We appreciate that live report there from the now open Riverside Drive. Joe was there earlier this morning showing them kind of getting everything out of the way. Nice to see the road clear and back open totally. Some neighbors in Posey and Gibson County, just outside of Evansville, are worried right now about how a proposed wind farm might affect them. And one of those families lives just outside the limits of Hofstadt and are full-time caretakers for their adult sons. 3 weeks ago, they learned their neighbor had signed a lease for a wind turbine, which they say would be placed right behind their property. Adam and Aaron Adler don't have a diagnosed condition, but are nonverbal and suffer from sensory issues and grand mal seizures. They say even regular natural events like a drop in barometric pressure before a storm can trigger those seizures or severe anxiety. They're worried that low-frequency noise, which might not bother an average adult, could be detrimental to their son's well-being.
We built this house 22 years ago for these boys, specifically to take care of them for the rest of their lives. And if we have to leave it for pennies on the dollar and move somewhere else, number one, the stress of leaving their home that they've been in for 22 years is another factor. Those are concerns, not that we want to leave, but I mean, if our sons are having seizures and we have to leave, that's another concern. How do you do that?
E.ON, the company behind the project, has a policy to build those turbines at least 1,250 feet from a nearby residence. For their full statement on the Adler's concerns, you can visit our website, tristatehomepage.com. SpaceX is in the business of sending items to space, and now it's launched its first ever paid mission, which could mean a lot for the future of space when it comes to the private sector. A Falcon Heavy rocket carrying a communications satellite for a Saudi Arabian firm lifted off from Kennedy Space Center, and that wasn't the only first for SpaceX. All three of the rocket's boosters successfully returned to Earth after the launch on Thursday. SpaceX has been used to send some satellites into space for the U.S. military and other government agencies, but the launch on Thursday was the first ever done by a paying customer. Want to have the first burger whenever Madisonville's Farrell's reopens? Well, you may want to check out the Hopkins County Madisonville Public Library and their silent auction. Back in September, we covered it extensively. The restaurant nearly burned down in a fire. One of the items up for auction now, though, this summer is the first burger when the restaurant reopens. The silent auction continues through April 26th. You can just head to the library's auction site at the Parkway Plaza Mall to bid on that item. Farrell's hoping to open at some point one of these summer months. We'll be sure to track that, no doubt about it. We'll probably be there that first day they reopen. Turkeys are giving residents a hard time in one neighborhood north of us here in the tri-state, especially so for a pregnant woman who's been pecked at twice within a week. A Massachusetts neighborhood is really reeling from this. Sean Shiabat reports.
Next thing I know, I'm encircled. They're pecking at the back of my legs. A couple more appear, and I cannot get away. I'm like hovering over my belly. I'm like kicking them behind me. I'm screaming bloody murder.
Kenda Carlson has turkey trauma after this flock attacked her twice in a week.
The bruises are on my legs. Most of them are sort of on the back of my legs, turkey height. The fear was more overwhelming than the pain. It wasn't until I got home that night and was like, oh my God.
She's now on guard on her daily walks, and she's not alone. Using a shovel, workers had to fend off the feathered mob 2 weeks ago. Mass Fish and Wildlife had taken several complaints for this flock in particular. Experts say it's common for turkeys to charge and peck during mating season.
It's literally just part of their breeding ritual where they're trying to assert dominance within their group or within their flock.
Experts say never run from a turkey, stand your ground, and use something to shoo them away.
He pointed at the turkey and then would open it up.
Armed for her next walk, at 7 months pregnant, she's not taking any chances.
This is from my mother-in-law. She did not want it to happen again. She was worried about the baby, and so, decided that, hey, this would be the best thing. And actually, I love it. It gives me some peace of mind.
Wow, nowhere yet if those turkeys will change their tune when it gets closer to Thanksgiving. My goodness. All right, this Friday morning at 7:13, Ron is checking the weather. He has a recap of the forecast from this morning and also what we can expect later ahead in just a few minutes.